It's the Slack notification on his phone that froze him. A single heart emoji under the photo of his coworker's newborn. The automatic coffee machine at the office whirs to life for the third time in 20 minutes as Javier, a 33-year-old software engineer, presses his palms against the bathroom stall door, jaw clenched. Not because of the coffee. It's the Slack notification on his phone that froze him. A single heart emoji under the photo of his coworker's newborn. The emoji looks like judgment, or worse, pity. He swallows and wonders if he just made a colossal mistake turning down the invitations to the children's birthday parties this year. This quiet panic isn't rare anymore. Walk into any brunch spot on a Saturday and you'll see it. Parents scrolling through baby photos on their phones with that glazed look of someone who's just accepted a lifelong subscription to sleep debt, while their non-parent friends smile too brightly, laughing a little too loud at jokes that barely land. Meanwhile, the barista has already asked 3 times if anyone wants oat milk before you've even decided on toast. The oat milk isn't the problem. It's the script you're supposed to follow. You know the script. It starts with, "When are you having kids?" before the appetizer hits the table. If you hesitate, someone will murmur something about your biological clock like it's a ticking bomb in your uterus, ignoring that men have biological clocks too, and they tick with lower testosterone and higher divorce risk. The script says having kids is the ultimate achievement, the rite of passage, the only real measure of a life well lived. But the thing about scripts, they're written by people who have already read the ending. Take the woman at the gym last week who, mid-burpee, told me she'd changed her mind about kids after a miscarriage scare. Not because she wanted to, but because her body failed her, and suddenly, her whole identity felt like it had a countdown timer. Or the dad at the playground who, while pushing his toddler on the swing, confessed he'd rather renovate his basement than go back to the 3 a.m. wake-ups for the 3rd night in a row. He didn't tell his friends. They'd call him selfish, or worse, unmanly. So he smiles, posts a photo with the hashtag blessed, and feels guilty for resenting the child he loves. Society treats parenthood like a moral upgrade, something you do to level up your soul. But what if it's more like trading your sleek sports car for a minivan that guzzles fuel, leaks oil, and won't let you take a spontaneous weekend in Paris without a 36-hour negotiation involving snacks, stuffed animals, and at least one existential meltdown in the backseat? The minivan is practical, but does practical equal meaningful? Not to everyone, and that's okay. Look at the data quietly leaking out of Scandinavia lately. Countries with the strongest social safety nets and gender equality, where parents actually get paid leave, healthcare, and support, still see birth rates plummeting. Not because people don't want children, because they're terrified. Not of the children, of the loss of self, of the erosion of dreams they didn't even know they had until the baby monitor starts screaming at 4 a.m. and someone's asking to reheat rotisserie chicken at midnight like it's a human right. And then there's the cost. Not just the diapers and daycare, those are peanuts compared to the hidden taxes. The career pause, the promotion passed over, the friendships that fray when you can't stay out past 8, the quiet loneliness of watching your old life slip into a photo album you scroll through when you're supposed to be sleeping. I know a woman who left a 6-figure job to raise her kids. Now, at 42, she's trying to re-enter the workforce, and recruiters look at her gap years the way you'd look at a used car with 200,000 miles and no service records. Overqualified, they say. Or the more honest ones. Too risky. She's stuck in a trap she didn't see coming. But here's the thing. No one tells you that parenthood isn't a single decision. It's a series of choices, each one smaller and more irreversible than the last. Choose to stay home with the baby? That's a year of your life locked in. Choose to return to work? Now you're paying for daycare that costs more than college tuition. Choose to keep breastfeeding past 6 months? Your sleep deprivation becomes a badge of honor, and your exhaustion becomes a family tradition. And the guilt. Oh, the guilt. You will lie awake at night wondering if you're giving them enough, if you're loving them enough, if you're failing them in ways you'll only realize when they're adults and you're holding their hands through a breakup, wondering where it all went wrong. The guilt isn't just a side effect, it's the operating system, and it updates automatically. But here's where the script starts to crack, because the same society that tells you parenthood is the only path to fulfillment also tells you to prioritize your mental health, to pursue your passions, to not settle, to choose yourself. So why is choosing not to have kids seen as settling? Why is it rebellion to say, I want my freedom more than I want a minimi? I met a couple last month who decided not to have children after years of soul searching. They weren't sad. They weren't selfish. They were liberated. They traveled. They took risks. They saved. They built a life they didn't have to apologize for. And when they told their families, The judgment came like a tidal wave. You'll change your mind. You'll regret it. What if you adopt? Like adoption is a backup career, something to try if plan A fails. But what if plan A isn't the only valid path? The truth is, having kids isn't the only way to leave a mark. Some of the most enduring legacies are built by people who chose to pour their energy into art, science, activism, or building communities instead of raising children. And not all legacies are measured in generations. Some are measured in changed minds, healed hearts, or even just one quiet afternoon where someone felt less alone. But here's the real paradox. The people who feel the most pressured to have kids are often the ones who'd make the worst parents. Because parenting isn't about biology. It's about stability, patience, sacrifice. If you're having kids out of guilt, fear, or societal expectation, you're building a life on a foundation of resentment. And resentment doesn't make for happy children. It makes for anxious, guilt-ridden adults who repeat the cycle. So what's the alternative? It's not nihilism. It's not opting out of life. It's choosing your own metric of success. It's building a life that feels meaningful to you, whether that includes children or not. It's accepting that love isn't finite, that you can love a child deeply without needing to create one, that fulfillment doesn't come with a diaper bag. Society will keep pushing the script. It always does. But scripts are made to be rewritten. And the most radical act of all might be refusing to play a role you never signed up for. If there is